Hello everyone, my name is Mario Tiozzo and I'm the Data Analysis and Visualization Librarian here at UNB Libraries. Today we're going to take a look at how to format our data into a proper APA-style guide table format. For your reference, I'm using the APA 7 guidelines to guide this presentation. If you're required to use another style guide such as MLA, Chicago, or IEEE, make sure that you follow that particular set of guidelines. Here we have randomly created data of a fictional survey taken on Sustainable Development Goals, or SDGs. We note that we have a column for the goals themselves, then two columns to determine impact with subheadings of dedicated resources and resource effectiveness. That's followed by a column rating key challenges, and then an overall rating column. Finally, we have a scoring legend at the bottom of the table. So let's try to convert this table into an APA-style table. Let's start with a header. The header identifies the order of the tables in your text. Make sure to start with table 1 and continue sequentially until the last one in your text. The table header is the first element of the table and should be bolded. Since we're assuming that this is the first table in our text, let's just tag it table 1. And let's make sure to bold it, Control B. The table title is next and should be italicized and in title case, so all the words are capitalized except for minor words. There should also be a blank line between the title and the table header. So I'm going to insert a couple of lines here. And now I'm going to insert my title and italicize it, Control I. Great. Next, all columns must have a heading, and if a table has subheadings, a spanner heading must also be present. Column and spanner headings must be written in sentence case, which means the first letter is capitalized and the other words are small caps, except if it's a proper noun. So you'll notice that my headings are in title case, so I'm going to change them to sentence case. I'm also going to expand the SDG goal tag into the full word text. Great. Next is border lines. Tables should have one border line below the title, one below the headers, and one at the bottom of the table. If there are spanner headers or totals in your table, those should also have their own border lines. You should also avoid using vertical border lines. So let's put a border line at the top of the table, one below the headers, and one at the bottom of the table. And since we have a spanner header, we should also put a line under it. Spanner headers right here. First of all, let's merge and center so that it's centered between both column headers. And now let's put an extra border line here. Great. Next is alignment. The body of the table should be center aligned unless it improves readability to be left aligned. This is usually for longer text, such as titles, and for body elements in the first column. Let's do that. All our headers should be center aligned, and the body should be center aligned as well. Great. Note that the body text in the first column can be left aligned, and so can the title. Speaking of the body text on the first column, it should also be in sentence case. Right now it is in title case, so let's change that. Great. Next is numbering. Numbering should be uniform within a column, so each number in the column should have the same decimal places depending on the required granularity. A cell should be left blank if the data was not applicable or not available. If you require a note for it, you can input a dash in a cell instead of leaving it blank. So we're going to leave the first three numbered columns as is, as we don't require decimals. In the overall rating column, we notice that we have decimal places all over the place. Let's make that more uniform. Let's highlight it. Let's increase it to 2 all across the board. Perfect. Okay, the table is looking pretty good. Let's move on to the notes. Each table must be understandable on its own, meaning without any surrounding text. So make sure that you include everything for the reader to grasp what they need to comprehend the table. If they are longer than a line, notes should be double spaced. There are 3 types of notes. The general ones address the entire table and are the first to be displayed. This includes context information, abbreviations, etc., and are placed below the table under Note, which is italicized. So let's include some notes that have to do with the entire table, including some context data as well as the scoring legend. Something like this. We can now remove the scoring legend, and let's not forget to italicize the word note. Great. The next set of notes are specific to a particular column, row, or specific entry. These notes are indicated with a superscript lowercase letter starting with A. All the specific notes are on the same line. If multiple lines are needed, you'll need to double space them. So let's include a few notes here. about survey responses, and let's tag the relevant lines. So let's have the goals of good health and well-being, as well as partnerships for the goals, be associated with A, and life below water and life on land associated with B. Put an A here, a small cap A. I'll go back to it, highlight it, right-click, format cell, and superscript. Great. And I'll do the same thing for partnership goals here. A, superscript. Terrific. Now I'll do the same thing for B, for life below water and life on land. Terrific. The final notes refer to probabilities. These provide results of a test for statistical significance where the null hypothesis is rejected, such as p is smaller than 0.05. The first probability note starts with an asterisk, and each successive note takes on an additional asterisk. This isn't relevant for this particular example, so we will not include it here. A quick note about attribution. If you are using data from an external source to create your table, make sure that you attribute that source with an in-text citation as well as in your bibliography using the APA style guide. If you are using the entire table from an external source, copy and paste that table with its original formatting and attribute it with an in-text citation as well as in your bibliography using the APA style guide. Okay, our table is looking pretty good. If we wanted to transfer it to a Word document or a PowerPoint presentation, we may want to modify the background. We can do this by creating a white background. Let's insert a cell here, and let's highlight the entire table as well as a little outside of its perimeter. Now let's make all of this a white background, like so. We can then use a snipping tool. I'm using the Windows Screen Cap tool, but you can use whatever tool you prefer. There. Now we have a nice clean table we can paste in a Word document or a PowerPoint presentation. Okay, that should be good for now. We've learned how to properly format our table using the APA style guide format. I hope that this was helpful. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.